Well, they handed down the big one this week as part of this program of budget leaks. Budget 2024 has almost entirely been leaked before the big day next week. Australia's Future Gas Strategy Report. They handed this one down, and we have renamed it the Let's Burn More Stuff in Future Strategy. It is ScoMo-esque, or is that Scomokian in its PR value, selling lies so grand that they are almost difficult to grasp. First, to the media manipulation, because everything is image. Everything is about image and not about substance. Rather than release the report so everybody could have a crack at it at the same time, rather than do the right thing, they dropped it, ScoMo-esque, to their fossil media duopoly mates at the AFR and the Australian for kid gloves treatment, and they were not disappointed. They set the tone for public acquiescence for the future gas strategy to keep electricity prices higher for longer and to burn the planet. Yes, they did. The truth is that nowhere is the government's complete and utter capitulation to its donors in the fossil fuel industry to be better seen than in this future gas plan. And that is why today we have donned the Lobbyland t-shirt, because this is Lobbyland at its finest, rolling the government again. There's some bizarre stuff in here, but just to debunk it from the start, this report presumes that we need to keep approving new gas projects for many years and lock in gas supply for decades to come because supply is good and it will lead to lower prices. We need to drill more of the stuff, they claim, because we don't have enough gas for the energy transition. That is a whopper. Australia is the biggest LNG exporter in the world and one of the top gas producers, full stop. We are swimming in the stuff, soaking in gas, and it all gets exported, or 80 or 90% of it. The vast majority of what we drill from the soils and the seabeds of Australia is exported by multinational companies that don't pay any tax. Here's a ripper though. This is absolutely enshrines what's going on here. The report mentions that the International Energy Agency, the IEA, which is a respected global body on energy, it mentions the IEA in its analysis 88 times. But it fails to mention the IEA's firm position. That firm position is no new fossil fuel projects, please. That is the IEA's position. And they mention the IEA in support of their analysis 88 times. This is classic, quintessential PR. The authors want us to think, the authors from probably the gas lobby, want us to think that they have relied on serious authoritative sources for their work, rather than just their mates in the gas lobby. Because Australia's future would have relied on getting income from these guys. But how many times is the PRRT mentioned? PRRT is that miserable failure of a gas tax. The PRRT is mentioned precisely once, buried deep in the bibliography at the end of the 100-page analysis. This is majestic symbolism. What's happening here? Delivering value to Australia rather than Santos, Shell, Exxon, Chevron and BHP is just a footnote. Those foreigners who buy us votes are more important than those Australians who actually vote for us. That is the symbolism in the footnote. PRRT, tax income from gas, income which goes to Australians and not to foreign multinationals, is mentioned once, interred in the bowels of the footnotes at the end of the report. The second lie, we need more gas to keep the gas price low, they claim. The gas price has not been low for years, ever since a decade ago or more, when they set up their LNG export policy and export parity pricing kicked in. So we pay the same as somebody 20,000 miles away in Japan who buys our gas. That's export parity pricing. In fact, the gas price has a lot to do with why Australians have paid excessively high prices for energy for the past 10 years, because gas goes into electricity. It is a key component in electricity, and they want to keep this going. Gas prices high. The third lie: we need gas to transition to net zero. This is the climate lie. Now, it is true. It is true that we cannot transition now because industry is not yet geared for it. Gas-intensive industries need gas for years to come. Not so households. But we can do a hell of a lot to reduce demand, and we can safely stop approving new projects. And in order to execute this lie, the report ignores Scope 3 emissions. Go and search for Scope 3 emissions. You won't find them. These are the emissions which cook the planet. It only mentions Scope 1 and Scope 2 a handful of times, 6 times in all. That is the climate lie. Lie number 4, supply and demand. The report manages to ignore demand, just talks up supply. Demand, of course, is that other very important thing in economics. And if the government was fair dinkum about energy transition rather than locking in profits for its gas mates for decades and cooking the planet, they would have announced a plan to get demand down. Heat pumps and the like, which rely on electricity instead of gas. There are 100 things they could do to transition, but they've only looked at supply. Let's trot out that gas cartel line that we need to drill for more gas because that will make the price lower. It hasn't. It won't. And so it is that the government in favour of the gas lobby has betrayed all Australians, because we will all feel this for years to come in our energy bills, because the simple fact of the matter is this: renewable energy, wind and solar and so on, and batteries, very cheap to produce. Sun and the wind don't cost anything. Coal and gas, not so. This is a complete capitulation to foreign multinational interests. Thank you for your support. Like, share or comment in the space below, and throw us a few bucks to keep up this work on Patreon if you can afford it.